Hi!
Hi! Hola! Hola from Manila.
Hey, Ola
That's
from
very good.
exciting. How was your last trip
Yeah.
to Cuba?
It was quite a bit of a challenge to get in. So as you know, until maybe 2 years ago, Cuba was very closed. So I'm sure everybody knows the history. After 1951, they kind of closed the whole country. Technically, you can't be a tourist and travel to Cuba. So we were supposed to go there for people-to-people interaction. So that's the official way to go there. They had very magnificent infrastructures, and even though they haven't been kept well, like I think if you've seen a lot of pictures of Cuba, they look beautiful, but they were probably more beautiful like 100 years ago. But there's still some sort of like romance and history in these crumbling buildings. So you kind of like get to know the history of the country and the people. So that was the interesting thing about it. So Havana was probably the birthplace of the mojito,
Oh wow.
because
sense.
Havana was one of the first few cities in the world to kind of learn how to produce and keep ice, like the stuff that you put in the drink. So because they had that, they were able to produce mojito. So
Wow.
that's like, wow, really? So
Fascinating.
right. So when you go to Cuba, definitely have a mojito, because
Wow.
imagine this country that was so advanced in terms of like culture and infrastructure and technology. To have everything cut off in 1 year and never move forward is very interesting to find out.
How did you get there? Because I'm sure a lot of people
So
are
we flew
wondering.
in from Puerto Rico, which flew to Miami,
Hmm.
and Miami to Cuba.
That's right.
So I think Cuba is only about an hour away from Miami. A lot of people before would fly in via Mexico. So Mexico to Cuba. I think because the US at the time didn't, they weren't so friendly yet
Mhm.
because of their history. The one that we flew was American Airlines.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a few other budget airlines I think that fly, like smaller ones like JetBlue, if I'm not mistaken. But the cool thing about American Airlines is that they have a partner, Cuba Travel Services, that they can recommend, so you can also get your travel card. So depending on your passport, you can either get a visa to go to Cuba or a travel card. If you're flying in from the US, you would probably need a US visa,
Mhm.
and then you would need a Cuban visa.
And a Cuban visa.
So I would recommend people to kind of like do their research before.